And just to give you an example, why they don't speak to me, is before the Little Swanport Management Plan was released a year or so back, which has been through all the review processes, consultation, all that hoo-ha, the allocations for that river, which is really a desert river, no other way of describing it, Tasmania's desert, was 4,800 megalitres of allocatable water. It has now been raised to 6,080 megalitres of water. In the time from the figures, the actual rainfall in the area has decreased by 15%. That we know. The river monitoring comparisons have been restarted and are also down. The rivers parallel to it were monitored, and the pattern of them shows that the flow decreased by 30% and not the 15%, because that's the multiplier effect of when the rain falls or the evaporation takes in. So in fact the river's been knocked to pieces, and yet the allocation of it has been increased. When you do what I did to the numbers, which was ask the question, how much water do you need for 4 different test species to stay alive in that river? Because you'll picture different plants or animals need different amounts of water at different months of the year. So you can't just take one, you've got to take several and see what the performance is required. When you do that, you find that you should only be taking 2,800 megalitres from that river if you want those things to stay alive. And that would be a safer approach. In that management plan, even though the state has signed up to the National Water Initiative, which is another piece of Commonwealth hoo-ha, you'll find that, for example, the state is required, when catchments go into a marginal condition, which that one surely is, to include within that figuring the usage by plantations, the forest industry, groundwater, etc. If you ask the Minister, is he toting up at the moment or making any kind of estimate of groundwater usage? No, they haven't even got round to it. What about forest use? Well, you can all turn away and start laughing at that, because this catchment is stressed out, it's mined. When you apply the criteria that I've applied to the Little Swanport, this catchment is more stressed than the North Esk, and it follows quite close after things like the Great Forester, the Brid and the Pipers. Pipers has got the real Guernsey, don't even think about it. And you can do these estimates. They don't want to know about it, because if you did know about it, this would all have to stop immediately. It has gone too far. There are some rivers where you could do some more, but these are not those rivers. So that's the sort of thing, and what I'd like to leave you with is it can be done if there's a will to do it, and if you do it, then you can plan the way you use your land and your industries properly. And one of the ways of climbing into that water will give you the guide in. The sort of things you do follow are the things that make sense.